In today's video, we are going to bring the Christmas cheer to life. We are going to make a Christmas wreath, set up the Christmas tree, decorate the mantle, and make some Christmas cookies. This year, my husband and I celebrated Thanksgiving with his parents and we exchanged Christmas gifts. My mother-in-law gifted me this wreath craft and I was excited to receive it because my winter wreath I purchased a couple years ago at the thrift store wasn't looking too good. It was also really fun to have a craft kit to do. I feel like I haven't done a craft kit in years. For the most part, it was fairly easy to assemble. The base of the wreath was a large foam ring. I wrapped it with the provided yarn and then made the little paper houses. I did have a little difficulty attaching the houses to the wreath, but I was able to do it. I followed the design on the kit box because I wasn't sure what other placements might look good. Attaching the trees was the easiest part because I literally just stuck them into the foam. The kit provided various glitter sizes and some pom-poms. I glued the pom-poms on the trees, taking heavy inspiration from the kit box photo. I decided to only use the most coarse glitter to simulate snow on the house roofs and hopefully not make a huge mess, which honestly, I think I succeeded at. I tied a bow and stuck it on the wreath, and the craft was complete. It turned out really cute and I had fun making it. It starts the Christmas cheer right at the door of our apartment. Months ago, I was driving past a neighborhood-wide garage sale and pulled in. The sale was pretty much over and lots of houses were already packing up their items. I pulled up to one house and saw they had Christmas stuff, but no tree. The couple asked me if there was anything I was looking for, and I said, "You don't happen to have a Christmas tree, do you?" And surprisingly, they said they did. They had already packed it in their car to take to Goodwill, but sold it to me for $3. They did warn me when I bought it that some of the lights weren't working. I really didn't care. This was going to be our first Christmas tree as a married couple, and it's like 7 feet tall, so I consider $3 a steal. It made me so happy to be able to celebrate Christmas with my husband in our home this way. It genuinely brought me so much joy to put up the tree and decorate it with these ornaments, most of which are mine, but some of the ornaments are ones gifted to us as a couple. I will admit that after filming these clips, more of the Christmas tree lights have randomly stopped working. We aren't sure why, but I did find some fairy lights that we added to the tree to help it look a little less sad. Even with less lights, the tree has been bringing joy into our apartment since it was set up. We don't have a tree topper, but we tied an angel ornament to the top, and it actually works pretty well as a placeholder. We also didn't have a tree skirt, but once I put some gifts around the base, I don't think it really matters. My work recently sent out an email about a Christmas decorating contest. Basically, you could submit photos of your Christmas decorations outside your home, your tree, and your mantle. The office will then vote on the best photos and the winners get prizes. I was upset when I got the email because I knew I didn't stand a chance. My husband and I are just getting started and I felt really discouraged that we had so little to decorate our apartment. But then I thought about how much we really had and how much it really added to our apartment. We actually had more Christmas things than I realized, even if it isn't a lot. Yes, I know I'm not going to win the competition. I probably won't even enter, but these small things mean so much because of the memories they are bringing. This apartment feels the most like a home of any apartment I've lived in, and having Christmas spirit in it makes it feel like a place filled with love. It's time to make my first Christmas cookies of the season. I'm gonna try and use this Spritz cookie maker that was given to me a couple years ago by my grandmother. And I had some leftover candy canes from last year that I wanted to use up, so I'm going to try and use some candy canes as a garnish for the cookies. Let's get started. When making Spritz cookies, it is essential to follow a Spritz cookie recipe because it has to be the right consistency to put through the press. I found a simple recipe where you sift together AP flour, sugar, baking powder, and salt. Then you cut in the shortening. In this case, I used unsalted Tillamook butter. That's right, I went all out with the expensive butter. The recipe called for 1 large egg and specified it had to measure to 1/4 a cup. That's how I learned that large eggs are normally a 1/4 cup of liquid. After adding the egg, I put in this homemade vanilla from my in-laws. I wanted to dye the dough Christmas colors. This took a lot of food dye because I'm using natural food dye. I found the best way to work in the dye was kneading by hand, though I'm not sure it was great for the dough consistency, as I'm afraid I may have overworked it. Guess how many drops of red food dye I used? I counted and it was 16 drops. That is an insane amount of dye. Loading the cookie press is always the most difficult part. I really struggle with it. I'm gonna try to do it by myself, but if I need help, I will ask my husband. I surprisingly got the first batch of dough in the spritz cookie press without too much difficulty, but I don't really know how. When I put more dough in later, I struggled to figure it out. I need to make myself a tutorial video so I don't keep trying to figure it out every single time I use it. I only use it once or twice a year, and there is no way I'm going to remember how to do this again next year. I did switch the plate out for different shapes. I found that once I got started with the cookie press, for the larger designs, it took 2 presses to get the cookie designs, but for the smaller designs, like the Christmas tree, it only took 1 press. So, if you are trying to maximize the number of cookies, opt for a smaller design, and you could get twice the yield. The recipe said it made 5 dozen cookies, but in the end, I had closer to 40. Partway through, I started having a problem with the press. I couldn't get the cookies to stick to the sheet, and the dough was randomly pressing itself through the press without any assistance. This was very frustrating, and it is a little funny to look back at this clip and see me visibly upset because I was really struggling with this for quite some time. When the cookies were all baked, I decided to decorate a few. I dipped some of the red cookies, yes, that is red, not pink, in melted dark chocolate and then the crushed candy cane. I thought they looked appealing, but I couldn't dip all of them because the crushed candy cane got too much chocolate in it and started to lump together. Since I had leftover chocolate, I decided our green trees, yes, they are green, can't you tell? I decided our green trees needed a brown trunk to help the green pop. This ended up being a little tedious, but the results were worth it in my opinion. The trees were my favorite design of the batch, but I don't think any design looked bad. It's 2.5 hours later, and this is the result. I think there was a lot of learning today. I learned that natural food color, as I have learned in the past but forgotten, doesn't dye as well as unnatural food coloring, so things turned out a little lighter than maybe I had hoped. I kind of forgot that candy canes melt when they're in the oven, and in this case, they turn a little pink. Lastly, I discovered that candy canes can be a little chewy. So I'm not sure how these cookies that I have dipped in chocolate and then kind of put in candy canes, I'm not sure how those are really gonna taste texturally. I'm sure they'll taste fine, but I don't know if I wanna bite into a cookie and then just have a lot of chewy, you know? So anyway, Christmas trees are cute.